Hi, I'm Geeta. I don't know. It's a really hard topic for me, but I've been debating if I should share this or just be a bit more quiet and just keep praying about it. It's been really heavy on my heart, and I think a lot of people can relate. I dated someone that was very narcissistic, and time now after, I'm still trying to heal. I feel so broken, so devastated, so incredibly little. I know I'm 6 feet, right? And not that little, but I mean little in terms of self worth, and it's been a very, very, very difficult year and years and time frame. I don't know. I just don't want to give it away in terms of who it was of those who met him. So I'll keep his information um, private, but um, I will um, share a bit more in terms of like a few things that I noticed while dating a narcissistic person, how you can find out. And I hope this helps you, and I hope it helps me to look back and say, hey, these are red flags. Run, don't jog, run. But so the first one is he was so charming, so incredibly funny. He was just so driven with his faith, the way he spoke to people, the way he prayed for people, the way he prayed. Everything about him just attracted me and was like, oh, this guy's so different. So, I don't know. And that just drove me to him as I wanted him around. I wanted someone to pray for me. I wanted, because I didn't have that growing up. I didn't have that in my family. And that was just at first. Later I realized it was just a facade or something. He was just um, portraying, right? Trying to be or whatever. Another thing I noticed that he would hog the conversation. Like he would just overbear everything we would speak about. It had to be about him and his situation, his day, his work, his political views, his family, his truck, him. I spoke. Oh, yeah. Oh, but back to this topic. Topics, plural, or. And I felt so empty. I felt it was okay to not have a voice. I thought it was okay not to be involved. It was okay not to have in any way an ability to speak or a voice. And that's very dangerous and you start losing yourself. But another thing that I noticed, number three, I'm all over the place. I'm just so nervous. No, but so the first one was super charming. Number two, he would take over conversation. It was about him. Number three, compliments. Um, a lot of people complimented him, call him to just encourage him. A lot of people would be so. And I love that. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool that he has that support system. But it was just the way he was fed emotionally, or not necessarily spiritually, because he did read a lot of the Bible and stuff. But he sensed to live being like the hero, you know. He did have every now and then a sense of sympathy. Is one of the stuff I do struggle with. Number four, right there. He was somewhat sympathetic, but when alone or with me, I could notice there was a side of him that he wasn't sympathetic, that he was just trying to be or whatever. And he had some really weird comments of not acceptance, of very harsh. I'm like, what? This is the same person you're portraying. Just with me, you're being a different person. Um, and I remember speaking with someone that I have very close to my heart that I pray with and that I talked to, and she mentors me. She said, wow, perhaps you were the one that actually got to experience that person and actually get the real person. I was like, whoa. It's like, yeah, I think you're right. Um, I think in terms of friendships, he didn't have any friends. People would call him or acquaintances or whatever, but locally he would just emerge on himself and his phone and his computer and just his past. He would only go his past. So he didn't have friends. And I would say many friends, and they were very long term. They were friends. Many of them had their own problems, and he would just be a hero for them, but not necessarily friends. So I would say when he was sick, no one visited him. When he was this or that, I was like, okay, there's a bit weird. Like he would never take me out with his friends because he didn't have friends. We developed a very codependent relationship where both of us were just us, like a little like cut off friends, to where it was just him and I and him, and it was just um. Another thing would be number six would pick on you often. Like would be, I mean, it's cute when you pick on each other, but his picking wouldn't be very. I don't know. I never felt Christian enough. I never felt skinny enough. I never felt smart enough, which is so weird. I never. It's not definitely something I struggle with there. But with him, I would say something, he would correct me. I would say anything, he would just be on it. He would hover. Oh, actually, or and I was like, ah. I acted like a girl's. I shouldn't say that. Let me rephrase it. I acted very catty often, like a catty chick, those like that. In his way, he was good at paraphrasing, but I also struggle a lot with he would gaslight me. Like he would just lie to me with every little thing, small things. And I was like, why did you lie? Why did you lie about that? Like it wasn't even necessary. Small things like who he called or how long he called or why was he there or this other person or all this story. And I was like, right, that doesn't make sense. It didn't happen. What happened? All these things that were just like mind blowing. I was like, wait, did I? Could I? And I started all these questions, right? And I was like, no. I heard right. You did not do that. Um, but I can say in general, for me, it was a big struggle. I didn't. Sorry, trying to fix that. I didn't know how to be myself anymore around him. I felt like I was enough to be that person, or I shouldn't be that person. I should develop and adapt to this him. And even when we argue, he still come pick me up. We go do stuff, and I was like, wait, I'm mad. Like I'm not supposed to be hanging out with you. And I'm laughing because looking back, I'm like, I cried about it. Right now, I'm at it laughing because I'm like, I'm listening to myself, and I'm like, girl. But all right, my Latina side, right? I'm like, I know we were together for quite a while. And throughout the time, he was like, and not define it, we were boyfriend, girlfriend, but yet we were everywhere, we were doing everything. I'm like, oh, okay. Or we were talking, presented his family super early. I'm like, oh, too fast. And everybody, and he's like, see, we go to church together, we do a lot of things. And I told him what I just, we had the conversation. He's like, yeah, like, I consider you my girlfriend. I was like, so why don't you call me your girlfriend? Why haven't you asked me to be your girlfriend? Why haven't? It's like, oh, I thought it was implied. And I was like, okay, so let it go. And it was around my birthday, and he was telling me he wanted to meet my family. And I was like, well, in my culture, you don't just meet them. I know here in the US, a lot of people just meet them. For me, but we're a different family. And I was like, scary. So anyways, he came over for my birthday, and on his way over, I was like, how do you want me to introduce yourself? And he's like, or to introduce you. And he's like friends, we're just friends. I was like, you're not coming to dinner. I already told everybody you're my boyfriend because we had that conversation previously. Oh, okay, just tell him whatever you feel like it. I was like, and he sent like a happy face. So I'm like, um, what? Anyways, he showed up and we had dinner and it was great. Everybody and I just kept looking down. I was like, this, I don't want to curse. I'm recorded, but so he looked at me and said, you're not, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing. And he's like, you already knew. So I got for a walk and I just started crying. I was so upset. It's like, my families are important to me. I brought you. I usually don't bring guys over when I'm dating them. It takes a while. And if I do, I'm very repentant of it. I think you violated what that valued and meant to me. That's a boundary that I was very close to my heart and you didn't care. And I thought it was very disrespectful of you saying, just say whatever comes to your heart. And say we were, and now we're not. Or yes, like, what is this? Like, this is driving me crazy. Like, I can't do this. This is not an appropriate topic. And I don't feel it's appropriate for me as a woman to bring it up again. No, we are dating. He hugged me and kissed me. And he's like, no, I didn't mean to. I did it. And I was just like, what's going on? So that was one of the issues. I'm like, I mean, if you're interested in just casual, find some other girl. I don't do that. Or if you're interested in dating, as we talked about, then date me, but don't hands around. That's annoying. Never actually had that. Just having it with him, I was just like, oh, this is what it feels like. Well, what? Um, Number 9. Um, when I get upset, I do take some time away, think about it, then eventually talk to that person or apologize. But I have to get away to do it first. I need it because I know I'm very powerful with my words or my actions. So I've learned to do that. And for him, he never felt he was wrong. He never needed to apologize. And when he did, it was like, I'm sorry you feel like that. I was like, that's not an apology. You can't say that because you're causing a feeling, yet you're apologizing that I have a reaction rather than your action apologizing for it. Not sure if that makes sense, but um, so I was, oh my gosh, he needed to be right about everything. His sore spot was talking about the ex-president now, and to me it was like, it's not a topic that I feel this should be an argument. Tell me your opinion, ask you questions. I would ask questions. I would never say this is what I feel, because to me, I stopped watching news back when Hillary and Trump were in debate because I don't feel that was an appropriate debate. I just felt it went too personal instead of focusing on the country. That's all political I'm going to get. I don't like either party. I vote based on what they present, based on what favors me or that I feel in any way that would be human rights appropriate. So make your decision based on that, what I am. But so when I would ask him questions, it would be, oh, here, bring up whatever topic about politics of that person. And I would say, okay, so what happened here? What did they do this? What did they do that? What does it mean? Tell me. I don't watch TV. I don't watch news. That's just something that for me, I don't feel it's important, or I wouldn't say important. I think it is. It just doesn't nourish me the way I'm trying to change my views, my way of feeling, and my health, my mental health, all that stuff. Current news, past news, it just didn't seem that within that time frame, and it's been 2 terms of this president, correct? So I'm not giving up who it was, right? So I think another struggle that person had is, I mean, I already talked a bit about it, but lies. I don't understand how the lies became in any way necessary for things or appropriate or anything. And I know when we would have breakups or talk about, or I was just, he's usually the one doing things. So when I would try to call it off, he would lash off and just be, um, someone else's fault. Or no, this didn't happen. That no, but this, he had had the last word, and I was like, okay. I would give myself time and talk and think about it, and then he would just text me a bunch of devotionals. I'm texting a bunch of stuff that I was just like, right, just sending me a link. If you cared about what it meant, you would, I don't know, say, hey, this was in my heart. I hope you have this. I hope you have that. Or you're going through all this something. And it just never happened. So I struggled a lot with those facts. And overall, I'm asking is that for you to actually, not necessarily how I said it, but what I said, to put attention and review and just think about it when you're dating someone. You're allowing this person only to share time with you, because time you don't get back. I hope this video is important and valuable to you as it has been to me. I'm still going to counseling to get over this person. Not necessarily him, but the way he hurt me. There was a lot of people involved in a relationship that shouldn't have, and it was mostly women, and unfortunately, even someone that struggles with their gender was involved in this, or not struggles, but is trying to identify her or himself at this point, and to each their own. But once you violate or cross paths or cross someone's relationship, doesn't matter what gender you identify yourself, you should not do it. And if you do, you have to face the consequences in terms of someone finding out and getting upset, someone not obtaining that. I don't do that. To me, if you feel you're homosexual or you feel you're a different gender and you feel you can't tell anybody, don't. But if you're going to date someone, at least let them know that's something that's on your heart, that's something that you're going through, struggling. Because as a straight woman, for me, it's hard to understand or feel in any way it's appropriate to lie about it, because this person used my time. If I had known that person struggled or interested in that another person that had a different gender than being a woman, I would have said, hey, find yourself someone that's bisexual. Find yourself someone that can understand this. Perhaps they're into it. I'm not to each their own, do whatever you want to do with your body. But if you cross my relationship, then you're crossing me, you know? That's a different side of me you might not like, but just don't do it. Just don't. You know, I just be respectful. This person used a year of my time and I don't feel it was appropriate. There's so many emotions, so many things that were just really hard for me to understand. And sorry about my voice. I had COVID. I'm still recovering recently. It was like for 3 weeks, it was really hard for me. So I took some of the videos that I posted down and I'll definitely post more. Just right now, I want to get this off my chest and talk about it and just say, hey, if you see these red flags, girl, run. Like, corre, mija. Just don't do it. Anyways, so yeah. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Bye.